So I've got a question for you. What if employers want to find quality employees? Maybe they should start offering crypto instead of a worthless US dollar. This is gaining some traction, and I am going to be the first to be pushing for this. You know, in many ways, it comes back to almost the same argument that the federal government was making under George W. Bush about, hey, shouldn't your 401k be allowed to be invested in the stock market after all? Like, you know, why shouldn't we, instead of paying you in US dollars, why shouldn't we allow you to be able to take that money, your Social Security money, and put that into the stock market like your 401k? So instead of just being, we're going to pay you with US dollars, which according to George W. Bush even acknowledged were fairly worthless, this would give you an opportunity to explode your wealth by having Social Security invest in Wall Street, right? That didn't fly because most people saw through his ruse that we're gonna even funnel more government money now into Wall Street. But I've got a radical idea for you. What if we started paying our employees with Bitcoin or Ethereum as a way of creating wealth? Imagine the difference that this would create. Instead of paying people in a dollar that's being debased by its government and losing value every moment that it's sitting in a bank account, imagine being paid in Bitcoin, for instance. Let's take a look at Bitcoin today. Bitcoin chart, 49,000. You know, crested over 50 yesterday, still hovering around 49. Will it go to 55? Will it retrace to 45 before it rockets up to 100? Who knows? Either way, it is an incredible store of value. In many ways, as an employer, you'd be paying your employees with property, an asset that many people argue, including Michael Saylor, is like the ultimate store of value. Imagine how transformative. I just want you to sort of blue sky think about this for a minute. Think about what would happen to employees that knew that they were being paid with an asset that wasn't being debased by its own country and losing value at every stage. What I find really, and I guess the reason I find this so empowering is just what we're seeing across the world right now in third world countries that are turning to Bitcoin as legal tender and as a store of value and helping to raise people out of poverty. How transformative might this be for a McDonald's employee who, instead of being paid $15 an hour as a manager in US dollars, imagine being paid in Bitcoin and or Ethereum or Doge. You know, pick whatever you want, where we see massive upswings. And yes, we see massive volatility and down 30% swings back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
What's crazy about that is you see swings there, but with the US dollar, it has been a consistent decline. Like if you look at what the dollar was worth in the 70s versus what it's worth now, it is just going down. There's no swing back up.
Exactly.
It's just
exactly. Perfect point. Because, you know, you might say, well, yeah, but Bitcoin we saw like a few weeks ago or in the spring, right? We saw Bitcoin plummet down to 30,000, below 30,000, right? Just for 2 months, right? Imagine though, now it's up to 50 and it's on its way up to 55 and going to probably hit record highs here in the next few weeks, right?
Think about what $15 an hour would have done in the 70s versus what it would do now, because it's like they're saying, you know, we're going to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour by 2025. So let's say in 2025, the $15 an hour is the minimum wage. What do you think the dollar is going to be worth then? So it's like you're getting paid in something, like it's basically like you're getting $15 an hour back then would be the equivalent of about what, $40-50 an hour right now?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah. So you're basically being paid $15 an hour in, I mean, like we're watching The Queen's Gambit right now. You know, I have to refinish the book and we're watching it on Netflix, and, you know, she's calculating how much it is for them to travel. And she's like, we're going to have a great meal tonight. I've calculated $12 for this delicious meal. I'm thinking $12. Holy smokes. Where are you? You know, you're lucky you can get a value meal at McDonald's for $12. Like, really? No way. And, you know, here's the thing, like the Happy Meal hasn't changed at all. The Happy Meal is still the same crappy cheeseburger and fries. Well, it's changed a little bit now. Instead of doing fries, they're sticking apple slices in there, right? But nevertheless, it's the same thing. It's not gotten huge. It's the same thing. Now you're paying twice as much for it.
In my lifetime, I would go down to McDonald's and I would get a plain hamburger for 25 cents in my lifetime.
My God. What lifetime was that? Like turn of the century? My God.
No, that was like when I was a kid, we would go down to, we would get $1 or whatever, and we could go get a hamburger, fries, and a drink for that at McDonald's.
Yeah. Try doing that today. That's why this dollar menu is so exciting. They do one, it's like they give you like, what, 4 chicken nuggets for $1? Like, come on. This is the state of things. But what I find this argument so compelling is because you think about the businesses that are now they're all accepting Bitcoin. So many businesses, right? How companies are using Bitcoin and other digital currencies. All of these companies, AT&T, all of these big companies are now saying, we're going to accept Bitcoin as payment. We're going to accept crypto as payment. So let me get this straight. Let's just be clear on this, right? I, as a crypto investor, I'm excited about that these big companies, these big institutions are accepting Bitcoin as payment, right? And Tesla and others are going to allow you to buy a Tesla, et cetera. Great. But I want to look at the other side of this. Why then, if they can accept payment so they can improve their lot in life, why shouldn't they also pay their employees in the very same cryptocurrency they are now accepting as payment? Right? Tesla sees its stock surge because it accepts Tesla stock or Bitcoin for payment, and then Bitcoin skyrockets and Tesla stock skyrockets and its market cap skyrockets. What about if we had the same level of wealth building for employees?
Well, and you could do something very similar by doing like a profit sharing. I am all about, like, I think that everybody that works for a company, like, you should have this probationary period. Okay, let's say it's like, 90-day probationary period. You prove that you're going to be a good asset to the company and work in that, and then you get like stock options or ownership options, and then the higher ups could take the money that's in that coffer, whatever it is that's going to be divvied out, and say, okay, we're going to invest this in Bitcoin and see what it does. And if it does, like, just take a percentage. And then if it does happen to take off, they divide that up with all the employees that decided they wanted to do that. Like, something needs to change where people are getting ownership of the positions that they have, because then they're going to be, they're going to be more invested. They're going to work harder because they are directly compensated for the work that they're putting in.